What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Shannon,
It's your man Terrence J.
and this is
The Last Podcast.
And why is this the last podcast, Terrence J?
Well, because I must have hit the camera and changed the camera. They was looking at the corner over there. So, again, welcome to the last podcast. But this is the last podcast.
This is the last
Yeah.
podcast.
Depending on what we say or what we do, this could quite possibly be the last podcast.
Glad they can see us now.
Yeah, well, they could. Now they can't. Now they can. You're still here. You're locked in. Hey, make sure you guys follow us on Facebook. It is the Last Podcast 1. And on Instagram, it's under what is Instagram? Instagram, it is underscore the Last Podcast.
On your mind somehow, I don't know.
You didn't cook it. So, with that being said, give us our disclaimer.
We will still be friends after the show. No matter what is said, no matter what is done. I don't know what he's doing over here. Our unofficial disclaimer, I'm going to get this right this week. If you were easily offended by fat shaming, if you were easily offended by anything, probably it's not the show for you, but you should stay so that you can grow a pair of balls, okay? And be able to accept what we're giving. Just want to give you some good stuff, especially tonight. But we are going to be on our best behavior tonight because we have a very special guest.
Good start that you did and then bring it back. I like that.
That's what I do. Don't interrupt me, though. I was on the roll and now newer divergent. I don't know what I'm about to say.
You like a big stick of butter. You belong on a roll.
So you see what we're talking about? Okay. So stick around because we have an absolutely wonderful show for you. So I'll take it back to TJ.
Yeah. So I want to introduce none other than my guy, Judah Albukina. He is the author of Judah Rising, and he is here. It's about a story of becoming. All right, listen. Now, I have to give the credit to my girl, Shannon. Last time we had Judah on the show, she said, you need to write a book.
Yeah.
And she kept saying, hey, I told him he'd write it. I told him he'd write it. And I wasn't believing her.
Every time
but Judah confirmed it.
No, every time, like if Judah would post good morning, I would be like, where's this book? Where's the book? And when I saw that this book had come into fruition, I was extremely excited. I read the book. It is an amazing book. So we're going to get deep dive into it.
All right. So welcome to the show, Judah. What's going on, man?
Welcome back.
Yeah, man. Here, let me get your microphone up there to you.
Thank y'all for having me on, man.
Man, listen, we glad you can come back, man, and now come back with this product of a book, yes. Right? And I know writing books is not always an easy thing.
Absolutely.
I've had a lot of people say, man, you need to write a book. I really have no idea. I have no idea where to start. So let's start there, man. How did you even start to have a concept about writing a book?
Okay. Thank you for asking. That is, I knew I was going to be asked this question, like, how did you do it, right? It was a process. These are stories. These are stories that I've told my whole life.
Yeah.
And in especially in mentorship and stuff, like sharing these stories with youth and everything. So when it came down time to write them down, it's literally just like, it was almost like talking to myself.
Yeah.
So I just like talk it up because I'm not a traditional writer. I haven't spent my life writing books, right? So I wanted to know, how do I do it? So the first thing I just knew to do was just start writing my stories down. So that's what I did. I just started writing my stories down off my memory as much as I could, and just getting it down on paper and then organizing it, by time period because it's chronological, right? So it was a process, very tedious process. I did not know that. Let me say that. I did not. I thought this was gonna be done in like, to be honest, because I'm an overachiever, I was like, I had this done in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, in my head, I map things out, right?
And you're thinking, this is my story.
This is my story. It's just gonna go like that.
So how long did it take?
9 months.
Okay.
It took 9 months from the time I actually started until I actually finished. It took 9 months. And most of that was, when I started this, I started remembering. It's a remembering process. These stories started, like, it's so much I didn't write.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much I couldn't put in there because it's can't give people
Right.
So it was just a process of writing the stuff out, writing the stories out, and then it's more cutting than anything.
So my first question to you, the first thing that I kept coming back to are the cousins. Okay.
Mhm.
The do because the cousins play a very instrumental part in your story.
Absolutely.
What is your relationship like with them now, and how do they feel about being referenced in the book?
Um,
If you can talk about
I can.
it. Okay.
My family, this book was inspired by you, Shannon. But this book came to light because my mom got sick.
Yeah.
My mom always said she was gonna write our family story. And so when she got ill, one day I was just sitting in the nursing home with her and I was like, Mama, you're not gonna be able to write your book. I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
So it really started off me trying to write her story.
Mm.
And in trying to write her story, it just morphed into, mine.
Mhm.
And so my family, unless they've read the book, they don't know what's in the book.
Right. Okay.
And I try to be very respectful of them, right? Because I know that it's a lot of things that people like to forget, move on.
Yeah.
It's a different time period. People don't live like this anymore,
Right.
Mhm.
right? So, but yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't know if my family knows.
Well, I will say in the way that it is written in a very respectful way. It's written in a very matter of fact way, and it's written from your viewpoint, but it's not written in a way that is damning to anybody. It's just your experience and how it shaped you.
Yeah.
And it's but you it to me from reading it. It felt like that they were showing you the type of love that they only knew how to show,
Absolutely.
and they gave what they thought was the right thing to give you.
Yes.
But that also helped shape you into who you are. So we got to take the good, the bad, and we have to understand that it makes us who we are.
Right. Absolutely. Most of my family is still in the streets.
Mhm.
So most of my family is still where they are in the story. A lot of them are
Still there.
Mhm.
there, right? So this is another reason why I wrote the book, because I've always wanted my family to share their story. I feel like, at some point I realized I was looking at, you get on these kicks where you start looking at these crime movies, Italian mob
Mhm.
movies, right? And I was like, hell, I come from a crime family.
Same.
So I started framing it as that. When it comes to white people stories and black people stories, we have a different way
Mhm.
that we frame them. When it comes to black people stories, it's hood, it's ghetto, it's all those other things. When it comes to white people stories,
They romanticize.
they romanticize
yeah.
it. So I was like, shit,
And they make a lot of money off of
they
their.
make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at my life story and my mom's story, and I'm like, we come from that type of background. I come from that family. My family, God bless them. They are very good at what they do.
Yeah.
And it's a trade. And if you are not doing something with your life, you will be doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's that was like the premise of it. I always wanted to tell this story. I didn't know how. How do I tell? Because there's so many other people's story too.
Yeah.
So how do I tell somebody else's story
In a respectful
in a
way.
respectful
Yeah.
way?
Yeah.
And it gets to the point to where you just have to say, you know what? I can only tell it the way I know it,
Yeah.
and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So my relationship with my family is still. I've always clashed with them
Mhm.
because I wanted different. So it's still that, but we still talk, still love,
Yeah.
and everything. My cousins are some of the only people who call and check on me. They are constantly calling, checking on me. They often ask me, like, I have to watch what I post. I can't post something like, "Oh, I'm beefing with this person," because
Because they ready to pull up.
you know what I'm saying? Like, who is it? I'm like, no, never mind. So yeah, they I want them to know that I do love them.
Yeah.
It's not a bashing thing. It's a recognition of who they are and where I come from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I know you were talking in your book about death comes early, right? And a lot of times, man, we don't recognize how much people passing away starts to shape our viewpoint, right?
Mm.
And so, and I know you mentioned like your grandmother and things like that. So, what was that in your life that you start recognizing of loss early?
Okay. my mother. Again, I took so much out the book because I wanted to tell a cohesive story.
Mm-hmm.
So I just couldn't really get into detail about exactly who she was and what she does.
Mhm.
But she was a very spiritual person. She was an evangelist. She was one of the first ones in Dallas. She, the reason why women can preach in the pulpit now, that's partly because of my mom and the women of her time. They fought for that, literally just to stand in the pulpit with the man.
She's a pioneer.
She's a pioneer. So she went around Dallas and she preached and she preached and she preached and she prayed. She was a prayer warrior. And so she handled a lot of funerals. And she handled most of the funerals in our family. If anybody passed, anybody died, my mom was the one who helped take care of those things. So it started very early and very intimately because I was with her. And coming from a crime family, most of the deaths early on they were gang related. A lot of gang related deaths. It was not in my later years. It was elders, But in the early years, it was a bunch of cousins. It was a bunch of cousins, a bunch of friends, and a bunch of family members that I knew. I was killed in the street. They and yeah, so that's where it started. It started with my mom just taking care of their funeral arrangements and stuff, and all of that. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I buried so many of my cousins that it was very intimate for me.
Speaking of your mom, I love the way you speak about her with such love and such admiration in your book. And when you speak about how she saw something in you and she cultivated that, she watered that. And it's funny because you've seen I don't want to stereotype moms, but some moms from the hood will see certain things in their sons and they feel like I don't want you, it's not manly enough or it's not,
Yes.
macho enough. But the fact that she cultivated and she nurtured that in you, and that's to me that just speaks volumes of how powerful a mother's love is. And you speak about her so you just in such a admirable way.
Oh, thank you.
It's a very beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So did you have something?
Well, no, I just even piggyback on that. You spend a lot of time also taking care of your mom, right? And so we see that through your social media posts, and so it only makes sense that there's a love there that you can see that a lot of times parents don't understand. Yeah, some kids do it out of obligation, and then some kids do it out of return of love.
Absolutely.
And I can tell that yours is a return of the love that she gave you.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
My mom, she loved on everybody. Started with me first,
Mm-hmm.
and then when she started adopting my siblings,
Yeah.
she brought 7 kids, and I took care of them, and that was all. She just loved, pure love. Like she loves people.
And you talk about the transition for you, how it was you and your mom, and then now you have to share the space with other women, like other
Absolutely,
females,
yeah.
and you're like, well, what's going on here?
Very, very interesting because again, I'm growing up in the streets, and so there is not a lot of respect for women per
Mhm.
se. Where
In the
I'm
street.
right in the streets, and then I have to raise these girls though, and so there was a dynamic, and I apologize to my sisters often because I had to learn different. Though.
Yeah.
I had to learn different. And
But the fact that you learned speaks volumes.
right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to protect those babies because they had to come with me also.
Yeah.
So they, at the time, I was the baby. I was, another provider.
Yeah.
So where I was, my sisters had to be.
Yeah.
So that including in the streets and a lot of places, So, but it was always with family because it's where I was is where my family was also. But it was such a I had to step in where my mom could.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a dynamic there.
Yeah. So you're moving through, your life. You start to realize that you are dealing with two Judas. You're dealing with the Judah that the street is molding you to be, but you're dealing with the Judah that God put the purpose in, right? And you find yourself at Booker T. Is it Booker T. Washington?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said trouble's finding you. Trouble is
Yeah.
following you no matter what. And and reading through it, it's almost like it's like I'm reading the story of my friend, my cousin, my brother, because it feels like this is the black boy story, because
Yes.
you don't come into this world the way that society says that you are. You know,
Right.
you God put a purpose in you, and but because of the way society is set up, that the enemy is after you from day
From
one,
day one.
and you were fighting like hell to live in your purpose, but you were still trying to serve that other Judah. Talk to
Yeah.
us about that.
Oh man. Duality.
Yes, the
Mm.
duality.
Yeah. I right from wrong was never a concept to me
Mm,
because my mother was righteous,
yeah.
but she loved my family. See? And in her eyes, they can only do so much wrong. And so I grew up walking that line. And by the time I got to high school and everything was just clashing, I think I didn't know how to choose.
Yeah.
I didn't know which way to go. Like I know what's right. I know what I need to do in order to be successful as far as in life, right?
Mhm.
But also I have exactly zero examples of that
Yeah.
in my family. I mean, literally, you know. Um, so maybe I was scared of being the first. I tried to do college. I got locked up in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
college time, and it was really what I feel like a lot of young men are going through now. It was really a thing where I had to decide: was I myself or was I my family? Am I me or am I my blood? Like
Mhm.
And that's a hard thing to do, because
absolutely.
we, especially in the black community, we are our family.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
we that's who we are. That's who we're connected to.
And there's a comfort level.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
and it's hard to try to set yourself apart and individualize who you are, because you are trying to you're so connected to your
Yes.
family. But in the book you talk about some of the teachers that shape your life, and that
Mhm.
that spoken to you, and you talk about the Walker Texas Ranger, and
Yeah.
did I say that right?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So talk to us about some of the teachers that helped shape you, and really spoke to you
right.
in times where it helped you realize more of who you were.
Right on. Um, in the fifth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Miss Young.
Hi, Miss Young.
She was a white lady, and she was probably my first proximity to
Like,
whiteness.
mhm.
But she was so concerned about not just me, but other people in our classes. And she went out her way to just show us that you're going to be okay. You're going to be, whatever you're going through, like, you're going to be okay. I think that's all she could really, like,
That's all she can give y'all.
that's all she
Yeah.
could really give us,
Yeah,
you
hope.
know?
Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what she did. And she brought Charles Haley. Of course,
Oh,
I was a Dallas Cowboys
yeah.
fan. They were at the top of their game at the time, winning everything. And she brought Charles Haley to the class, and he signed the autograph. Like he brought me up to the class and talked to me. She talked to him beforehand,
Oh.
apparently, told him about me. And so that right there, just that whole experience of meeting Charles Haley, him sitting down, talking with me in front of the class, like just instilling in me that whatever it is I'm going through is going to be okay and everything. And her facilitating that it was it was a godsend.
Yeah.
And my mom, she used to always have this saying. It's not hers. It's from the Bible. But she say, "I never seen the righteous forsaken or they see begging bread."
Mm.
And so she went out her way to make sure that I had everything, y'all. Like that woman, she did everything she could to make sure I had, opportunities,
Yeah.
um, mentorship, teachers,
Yeah.
those
Mhm.
things. I wouldn't have met Miss Young if it wasn't for the school I was going to. She always kept me in schools that I had to audition to get into.
Yeah.
That's how I got into Booker T. So
Yeah.
I was always in art schools and everything. It was a very, like, my mama was. I think she knew it could not be a talk thing.
Yeah.
I cannot tell this kid, "Hey, you need to do the right thing." Like I have to literally put
Push
them
him. Yeah.
in those
in
positions
those
so you can see.
positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because other than that, it just would not happen. So that's what she did, and so that's how I got a chance to meet so many great
Yeah.
teachers. Miss Young was in fifth grade. She did that. Mr. Ben, my theater teacher who introduced me to Shakespeare, he
Mhm.
taught Shakespeare, and just a genius. He was a genius. Another white man, he was a white man, and I my position on white people has not necessarily changed. But I can say that the people who do social work, especially the work of taking care of our kids,
Yeah.
certain people are put directly in those positions.
Yeah.
And so Mr. Ben was one of those people also. And he was a white man who taught us Shakespeare, but also Lorraine Hansberry and
So he was well rounded.
he was very
He
well-rounded.
made sure that you learned the whole
everything.
Yeah.
He's the first one who cast me as Walter Lee. Like, you're gonna
Oh.
be Walter Lee, Raising of the Sun, like and
Man, that's awesome.
yeah. So it was just I did have a chance to meet a lot of great teachers and everything, and get exposed to those things. But just from being in those positions and in those places.
Mhm. And I know, as you even on the title of the chapter talking about Booker T, you said bloodshed and becoming a target. So I want to know, as far as becoming a target at that stage of your life, was it 100% a factual thing, or was it something that you even contrived in your head to where? Because sometimes, when you come from certain places,
And you just
everything becomes a
Yes.
target. How did that work out?
I think it was both. I think two things can be true at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was over paranoid. I felt like all eyes were on me, but also all eyes were on me.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is I started having gangbangers coming up to the school looking for me. My shenanigans in the streets were following me to the school. So, on one hand, it's like one of those deals. You have problems, but you're causing those problems.
Mm-hmm.
So it was real. There's people looking for me, but also I'll be fucking with them.
Yeah. There's a reason they looking for you.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what? And reading those words, and I just kept saying, because I put everything in the perspective of age, because that's how, when I look back over my life, I look back at my mistakes, I look back at the things that I went through,
Yes.
that I've endured, or the things that I've caused myself, and I look back at the age, and I'm like, but this was still, you were such a young, like you were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
You were a kid, and you having to juggle both of these very different worlds, one that you can't seem to escape, because that's your, that's what that's like your homegrown, but I keep coming back to the purpose, the purpose that God put in you. And that, look, I was reading the part, you're at the park, and here the big kid comes in. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
leave him alone. Shit, he's trying. He's trying to get his shit together. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
But like you said, well, I was fucking with him. But
Yeah.
but
So, but that's real. Just because you decide to change your life does not mean that you don't have to deal with the karma.
yeah,
That you've
and what
already said
happened.
it. Yeah.
Put out
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
the seed
And
that you
right,
sowed.
yes.
You changed, they haven't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they still see you as what you was.
Exactly.
And Rich, really, as a life story for all of us, because it doesn't have to be crime.
Mm-mm.
It could just be wherever you were doing whatever you were doing. The moment you start seeing a change,
Yeah.
now everybody's still looking at you the same. And again, you had to have that decision. Am I going to be what I was, or am I going to be what I know I want to be?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you touched on it earlier. So I really wish we had more time so we can just. I really want to break down this book so bad to everybody, because I think this is gonna be I know it's gonna be I'm gonna start a book club. This is gonna be my first book.
Oh my God.
Because it's written so well, and I just
Thank
keep
you.
saying, and I said, I told Judah earlier. I just feel like every black man, young black man, old black man, middle black man, I don't care what your story is, you should read this book, because it speaks in a way that is, as a black woman, it made me want to just speak with black men and say, oh my God, this, because the way that you broke it down, sometimes we get so caught up in our own experiences. And, we
Yeah.
hear about what it feels like to be a young black man, but the way that you were able to convey like everything that you went through, it my heart went out to you, and all the young black men, because it's like there you're living, like you said, duality. You're living in two worlds. You're trying to figure it out,
Mhm.
and so many of our black men are trying to figure it out. But your saving grace was your mother. She made sure that out sometimes we don't have that, so you like you say, you ended up in some trouble,
Mhm.
and then you ended up serving time. You want to talk to us about that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I wrote this book for the YNs,
Yeah.
right? They're getting a hard time. People need to realize that there's just cameras out there.
Yeah.
This stuff is not new.
Yeah.
It's not new. It's the same old story. When I was 17,
Mhm.
first time I got locked up, and they took me right to Blue Stair. I thought I was going to juvenile. I was 17 years old. Texas, no sir. You're 17 years old, you are an adult.
Yeah.
And so they took me right to Blue Stair. I had to spend my time there. And what ended up happening is you hear about the system, but you don't know the system until you get in the system. When I got out, within 6 months, I was right back in, and it was like a revolving door. I could not stay out. Like if I was in a car and that car got pulled over, everybody else might be leaving. Me, no, you're going to jail. And I'm like, what is this? What's going on? Such a process. If I don't have time to go into it, but go look up Dallas County. They have a history of just
Railroad.
railroad.
And it really is a pipeline.
It's a pipeline, and once you get caught in it, that's what it is. One of the times I was locked up, I end up running into my cousin. And the thing about this is, and I wanted to talk about this for a specific. The thing about this is, at the time, my cousin was America's Most Wanted.
Mm.
So it was a real wake up call for me. Like, and we had brief words with each other, in the place. He was upset to see me there,
Yeah.
but also it tracks, you know.
Mhm.
But it was one of the moments that I realized that the future that I thought I had secured through all my greatness, through Booker T, through everything that I've accomplished, that future was, I mean, it, it might be gone,
Yeah.
brother. Like,
Thanos.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
damn, like I'm here. Like I'm here. And you don't know when you're there. You don't, it's not like you just, it's a gradual
Yeah.
thing.
And then one day you wake up.
And one day you wake up and you're a criminal. And it's
Yeah.
like, yo, I commit crimes. I'm in crime. I do the things. I'm
Was
with
that
the
was
people.
that
That's the
your
rock
aha
star.
moment? Was that your moment when you felt like God said, "Do I have your attention now?"
No. Should have been. Should have been.
Yeah.
Was that part of your rock star criminal?
My family was already known in the streets. Here I am. I'm locked up with my
Your
America's
people,
Most
yeah.
Wanted cousin, which by proxy makes me America's
Yeah.
Most Wanted
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that is wrong, but feels right.
It feels right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so
You do get a clout,
you get a clout.
and it's kind of one of those things where that attention, good or bad, is attention.
Absolutely.
And so now, if I'm attached to this,
Mhm.
and you guys give me respect, my chest pokes out.
Big time. And that's the thing. And you spoke on it early. The thing that the young people are struggling with, the thing that I was struggling with, the thing that people have to understand about this is I was enjoying all of this.
This was
I was
the
enjoying
duality.
This
Yeah.
was the duality. My life was menace to society. People look at the movie, they're, ooh, that's my life.
Yeah.
I live that. And that's what my mom is fighting.
Yeah.
And so I had to really realize not only do I like it, it's also very profitable.
Mm.
So it's not that I was fighting the future of being in prison. That's all people see. It is that, yes, but also that comes with things. It comes with respect. It comes with money. It comes with you never need. I never need to this day, and I can't say this, but I don't. But I don't need for anything. If my family don't let me need for anything,
Yeah.
you know, um, and I have to tell them often. Like I can't be like, man, I need a job.
Yeah.
Right.
You need a job.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, so that's the thing that you're fighting. What you're fighting is a guaranteed future versus something better.
Mm.
And so it's a gamble. Like I on the other side of this, I could have been a very successful criminal.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm fighting. Like that's what I say. That's what I'm fighting because that's what I'm fighting.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And, and I think that pull a lot of times where men get where it's like, I need to do the good thing, right? What is that good thing? How do I structure my life when everything around me is saying, hey man, would you come this way?
Yeah.
And also, you see the people that get locked up, but you, on the other hand, you see the other that you consider success.
Yeah.
Like they're successful.
They're successful.
It's a gamble, it's a chance. But what do we all say? It ain't gonna
It
be
ain't
me.
gonna be me.
It ain't gonna
Yeah,
be
it ain't
me.
gonna
Yeah.
be me. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. From the first day that I met Judah was a guest on a podcast, and I was producing that podcast, and I was watching this dude, and I said, I like this nigga. Right? I was like,
Yeah.
it's something about him. It was a spirit. It was a heart.
Yeah.
It was something about him that it was a purity to him.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know your whole story then. So understand, I'm seeing a purity in you that's fighting or has fought this mindset of, I can go be a successful criminal.
Right.
Right? I knew what I saw in you was something special, to the point to where I said, I need to connect with him. We connected that day.
We did.
And I said, yo, give me your number, dude. I don't know.
So you brought him on our show.
I don't know
Mhm.
what it is. I was like, give your number, dude, because we need to talk. And so I think that's the thing, is that the cord that we see, as we say in the hood,
Mhm.
man, there's a lot of good people.
It's
It's
a
a lot
lot
of
of
good people.
yes,
But when,
but they're fighting circumstances.
yes, circumstances. And if I throw 10 positive things at you and one negative, it's probably easy to choose the positive.
Yeah.
But if I throw 10 negative things at you and one positive, it's probably easy to choose the negative.
Yes.
And so I
Absolutely.
think that's where it is. So this is why we appreciate you for taking the time to write the book,
Yeah.
to be able to get that story out, because somebody will read it that's going through your life verbatim. These things go in cycles.
Yeah.
Verbatim, to be able to, like, wait a minute, he made it.
Yeah.
He came out of this. So what is? I don't want to put a word or a direction in your mouth. Writing this book, what was your hope?
Absolutely. A story of becoming. I have a theory. I'll try to be quick.
Take your time.
My theory is our whole point of being here is to evolve.
Yeah.
From the first one who discovered fire to he who discovered writing, it's all been about us
Evolution.
evolving. I believe that evolution is a white concept.
Explain that.
We vehemently reject evolution in the Black community, especially if you are religious. Absolutely not. God created everything. There's no such thing as evolution.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We vehemently reject it. And because we reject it in the scientific realm, we also reject it in the philosophical realm.
Mhm.
We don't believe people can change. And so that's what I wanted for this book. People say people can't change. Yes, they can.
Yeah.
I'm living proof. People can change. I was probably the worst of the worst. That's the truth. And what saved me was the same chaos that destroyed me.
Yeah.
And so people have a purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I realized that one day I had to tell God that I was done living in chaos. I had to retire because that was my place. I had a purpose. It was to be in the chaos. When uh, Micah X shot the people downtown, I was there. That was part of my switching point. I was in an environment that was unfamiliar but familiar.
Mm.
It was my first time experiencing a mass shooting. Other people were terrified and didn't know what to do. I was terrified and knew what to do. And I realized that I could be here. I can be in the middle of this. I can cover this. Where other journalists won't go out and cover those things, I can do that. I don't have the trauma of being harmed. And that's through the fire that I've already been through. So my whole point of writing this book was that people need to understand that, and you hit on it several times. You said when you read it, you thought about your cousins, and that's what I want people to do. Think about those cousins and those brothers and uncles that you written off because they ain't no good. And it's true, they probably not. But that don't mean good ain't in them.
And right. And we don't know what their duality is.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And people do fight. And as a black man, we recognize all the time that the black fight in general is real. But we do not recognize the individual black man's fight. Not at all. As a black man, you have one duty, and that is to overcome. Period. That's it. And that's all that the public expects of you.
Yeah.
And that's all that the public will respect of you.
Yeah.
And if you don't overcome, it's your fault.
Oh.
You fail. And that is the thing. And so I just want people to understand that as black people, and especially as black men, we're going through evolution. We are evolving.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
thing.
I truly believe that, and they say you are a sum of the total of your decisions, right? And
Yes.
and even in your change is you change how you make decisions,
Yes.
because Judah from 1995 is still in you.
Yes.
In your evolution, you said, you know what, I'm gonna just make a different decision. And your different decision is brought on by your thought process, what you see, but then you start recognizing different decisions bring different results.
Yes.
Do I like these results? Because you liked the first results,
I did.
but you never even knew that another decision could bring you another type of result that you could like.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where exposure comes in at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so speaking of exposure, one of the things I know that you were giving back to, you talked about even the book, Suits for Judah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that's how I met him. Super Judah.
Yeah.
He came on the show for Super
Yeah.
Judah, and we started talking, and you kind of gave just a small synopsis of, of your background, and that's when I was like, "Oh, you need to write a book."
Yeah. So and you know what? And some people, they reach that decision where they say, I'm making different decisions, get different opportunities, and I'm gone. And then some people say, I'm making different decisions, getting different opportunities, and I'm gonna come back.
Yeah.
What made you come back?
My family.
Mm.
My family. Anything that is of me is of them.
Yeah.
I want them to know that they too, at any point in time that they choose, can do this. My family, I talk about the crime part all the time, but on the other hand, I didn't know until I joined the military that I was good with my hands. Nobody took the time to tell me you're a mechanic. You're good with your hands. You're an engineer. You're good with your brain. You can put things together. You can do these things. So once I got outside of the hood and nigger rigging,
Yeah.
right, I learned that I was useful in the world. So I look at my family members and where they might still see
That's powerful.
themselves.
I learned I was useful.
Yes, absolutely. Being useful in the world is a thing, and that's what everybody wants to be.
Mhm.
That's what everybody wants to be. Every street person just wants to be useful.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they find it in the street.
They find it in the streets.
Yeah, because they're not given the proper resource or even the proper opportunities to be. You know how many
Mhm.
geniuses, how many just talented,
Mm.
overly talented people in the hood. But
Absolutely.
because the opportunities or the resources are not there, they take what their circumstances are and they put their genius to that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's it. That's 100% it. So I knew about the school to prison pipeline, but I didn't know that about the trade school pipeline.
Mm.
Nobody told me about that.
Mhm.
So once I got out and I learned that I could do that, I was like, oh well, I'm good with my hands. I can do other things. I knew I was good at acting, but you know, that also is something that we lift up in the hood versus exploring other things. Not only was I good in acting, when I got to college, they put me behind the scenes. So I was working on the sets. I was building sets, and that too is like I'm like, oh well, I'm good with my hands. I can do something. So the money that I could be chasing in the streets, I can get legally, right?
Mhm.
Um, and and help another person, which that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, I just want to be an example to people, especially people like me who are from where I'm from the projects, from 10th Street District, all of that over there, and and just know that okay, it might not be nothing here, but that don't mean that it's not nothing on planet Earth for you.
Mhm.
And the idea that you have to leave, let me say this: the idea that you have to leave Dallas to be successful is backwards. People come to Dallas to be successful.
Mhm.
You're in the right place. You just need to work it.
Mhm.
So leave your neighborhood. You don't have to leave Dallas. You have to leave your neighborhood. And for the young people who out there and they are thugging and stuff, like it's a there is a legal career in there. Find what you're good at in the streets
And turn it
and turn it into something else.
Yeah, yeah. To that point,
That's
Judah,
also powerful.
the whole thing is that what you will realize is you're getting a first-hand lesson in the streets every day of really how to be successful in the world.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you'll recognize you get into these other situations, these corporate situations, you outperform everybody.
Yeah.
Outperform.
I had
Why they got rid of DEI?
yeah, and facts. And so I had a friend
And
who
now white supremacy is DI.
friend of mine
Rainbow Coalition.
who was she used to be over black music at MCA Records, right?
Mhm.
She said I was always more impressed with the street dudes than the conscious rappers. She said because the street dudes came in, they had a crew. One was going to do this, one was going to do this. They were going to circulate this. He was going to put up flyers. He was going to do this. They said they took their street organization,
Mhm.
bought it into the record company, was like, yeah, we don't need that. And she said we had more success with those guys because they knew how to run a business.
Absolutely.
And so she said, so I would always be like, yo, give me the street dude who is ready to make that change
The businessman.
because he knows business. He understands people. He understands how to motivate. He understands how to organize. And so that is the type of thing that when you recognize what you see. But to your point also, Shannon, we talked about resources and not having the resources
Mhm.
there. We also don't celebrate you when you do those other
No,
things in
yeah.
the hood,
Absolutely.
right? You come home from prison, we throw a party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You go to college, we like, oh, college boy, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly how we treat
So the thing is that there's also because you want to be useful. We want black men specifically.
Mhm.
We want to be useful. We want to be productive,
Yes.
and we want to be celebrated.
And celebrate. Yes.
Because what'll happen is
We don't celebrate each other.
we will overperform if you celebrating us.
Oh yeah.
We will give you whatever you're looking for if you're celebrating us. And I always say kids perform better when they have somebody they don't want to disappoint.
Mhm. Oh yes.
Yeah. This
They
is
don't
true.
That's
teacher, counselor, coach, auntie, next door
Neighbor
neighbor,
got that one person.
Yeah.
and they,
Yeah.
boy, baby, I know you can do it. Really?
Mhm. That's
Boom to the moon. And I think that we got to make sure we give our boys that when they are in a position of being influenced by the outside,
Mhm.
give that other force. And that's why I love you talk about your mom was always giving you that other force.
Yeah.
She was.
She was.
She was giving you the other force. She said, I know what's out there
Mhm.
and I know what the family is. But I'm gonna give you a force that guess what? I'm gonna train you up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when y'all
Yeah. Yeah.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah. So Suits for Judah, organization helping out kids and within the community.
Mhm.
I've even come to one of your events you had at Madison one day.
Okay.
Yeah, I came out there and
Yeah,
hung
yeah,
out.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So man, and I think that's huge. So for Judah, book is out. What is the plans for Judah going and what's your next chapter?
I think my next chapter is ministry. It is through the book. I still have more stories to tell, so I want to get more out there, and I would like to just start to try to help inspire people to tell their stories. Because that's always been my thing. I'm going to forever be a journalist. I'm going to forever, do documentaries
And you're a
those
great
things.
storyteller.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
So I think that's it. It's the evolution of storytelling for me. So my next project actually is writing about all of the documentaries that I've
Mhm.
Oh,
done.
yeah.
So writing about Sam Branch, writing about Fred Hampton Jr., and letting people just kind of experience that firsthand and know more about what's going on and getting those things documented also in paper form. So right now, that's kind of what I'm focused on. Suits for Judah is I've decided to bring back the suits portion
Mhm.
of Suits for Judah. We stopped taking around COVID. We actually stopped taking suits
Mhm.
because of COVID. So I've decided to bring back suits. I would like to have people donate suits because, again, I do think that it is a great way to shift the mindset of young people. Sometimes they just got to see themselves different,
Mhm.
and also, have an experience where they go somewhere where the suit is useful
Mhm.
and they see what the power of it is,
Mhm.
right? I don't, if you know me, I don't wear suits often. I mean, but I wear a suit, because I know what it can do, especially in the right rooms. But also, can I speak on that right quick?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You talked about the first time you and I met.
Mhm.
I was not only nervous, I felt out of place. I always have when I'm in the room with successful black men.
Mhm.
It's very intimidating. And I had to tell myself and remind myself I'm supposed to be here.
Mhm.
I belong here. And you took me under your wing. And man, I appreciate you as a mentor.
Mhm.
It's really helped and guided me because, and oh no, most of the time when I'm in the room somewhere, I'm not very outgoing like that,
Yeah.
but I'm very observant.
Yeah.
I know who is who. I'm looking at everything. I'm learning. And so if somebody comes up to me and talk to me, I'm going to talk back. And that's who you are.
Yeah.
You're like, you come to me, you talk
Yeah.
to me, and I'm like, hey, what's up? So I appreciate that. And it's allowed me to grow and to understand. I look and I learn. And I want people to understand that that's okay. Evolution. You have to learn how to socialize. So I look at other black men and learn how I'm supposed to behave or how I'm supposed to act or how I'm supposed to socialize. Okay, I'm supposed to say like this. So
Because remember, you said earlier you had zero
yes,
examples to look at. So
Exactly.
you're learning that in this stage in life.
yes.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. One day, Judah called me, or I would just call, hey man, how's everything going? And it was something, you don't have to say anything on social media. It's something I can read,
Mm.
right? And I'm like, I'm gonna holler at my boy, right? And so one day you said, yo, man, we need to go out, just go hang out, man. And so when he said that, I said, okay. I was dead serious when I said okay. But things happen. And then one time we was going to meet, and I think I had to go out of town or something like that. And one day, Shannon, I said, yeah, I was at a buffet convention. You know what I'm saying? It was, you was there. Um,
Shut up.
But you know what? The thing is that I said, it hit me one day. I said, I know how hard it is for a black man
Mm.
to put himself out to another black man and say, dude, I just want to hang out.
Yeah.
Right. And so my intentions were we were going to do it, but then I became intentional to say, Call him, set a date, let's go. Why? Because it hit me when I was like, that's not easy
Yeah.
to do, right? Because we all in that situation, like, you know, saying this and that, right? And so, but see, I saw courage in that.
Mm.
And so I said, you know what, Drew, let's go, right? We're gonna go hang out. We're gonna go. We met up and hung out and just chilled. And definitely want to, we need to do it again.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, you are full of courage. You are full of innovation, right? Also, you're a sponge, dude. Even I see Judah on the red carpet. I'm like, Judah, put your camera here, stand right here, Judah. He moves, just boom, boom. Okay, what is it?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, he wants to learn what it. So that's why day
Teachable.
one.
He's teachable.
That's why day one I was like, yeah, I like that dude.
Right on.
And so that's why we wanted to have you back on the show, man, to be able to talk about this book. We were very proud that you actually had the book. So
Yes,
I don't buy
more proud
books,
than anything.
but I got one. I
Yes.
bought.
He does not know how to read, so I'm going to teach him this weekend. I'm going to teach him this weekend. But I do. I wrote a little.
Yo, watch it go. Ain't going.
It ain't going nowhere. It's so crunchy. Shut up, TJ. Shit. But I wrote just a little small synopsis of my thoughts on the book and what I pulled out of it. And the thing that stood out to me is that you described the dichotomy between what God placed in you and what the streets placed on you in such a poignant and vivid way. You really captured the essence of your two worlds and how you navigated through both, feeding both without even understanding how and why. And the way that, again, I don't want to say it's simplistic in how but it's the way that you broke it down and to where everybody, no matter who picks up the book, can understand and feel your words, feel your experiences. That's what really stuck out to me, and this is why I really fell in love with this book. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. I'm telling you this. I feel like this book will really help transform a lot of lives. If anybody wants to give this book to a young Black man or just for yourself, if you really read it in the right mindset, it is a transformative book. So thank you. No, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Man, what would you like to leave with the audience as far as, whether it's with the book or just with you or anything? Is there anything that's on your heart that you just wanted to make sure the audience know before we leave out?
Yes. I think it's the same message I've been preaching for 6 years now. And it is Suits for Judah's motto, pillars. I would like for everybody to just know that mentorship, exposure, entrepreneurship, and empowerment can change your life. Find you somebody to mentor you. Through that mentorship, get the exposure. From that exposure, find something that inspires you to be an entrepreneur. And through entrepreneurship, I believe we all can find empowerment. I didn't say successful entrepreneurship. I said find something that you are passionate about, that you want to give back to the world, and do that. Take the successful part out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you do it, the thing I teach with the young people when I'm teaching entrepreneurship is if you can make $1 with it, it's already successful.
Mm-hmm.
Just the one.
Yeah. That's a profit.
That's a profit.
Yeah.
If you can sell it for $1, it's already successful. So,
and if you are a successful Black man or a Black man who has the time and the willingness to be a mentor, do that too.
yeah.
We need that. We need our young boys to be mentored by strong Black men. So
Absolutely.
Step up because
And
we need them.
And our young boys and each other.
Yeah.
Men need mentorship.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we do, because we are falling behind the rest of the world when it comes to evolution. I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Yeah,
we have
it
to
is.
evolve as men.
Feels like we're regressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to evolve. So find somebody to help you mentorship. That's what I want to do.
Well, thank you so much, Judah. This was one of my favorite shows. So I really appreciate you being here tonight. Again, thank you so much for this book. Um, I cannot say enough good things about it. I'm just happy that I know you personally, and I can brag on you and be like, yeah, that's my boy. He wrote this book. So
And where can we get the book from?
You get the book on Amazon. It'll be at Pan African Connection. I'm working on getting it at Barnes and Nobles, and you can get it from me directly.
Okay.
So
And you got something coming up?
I do have something coming up February 7th at Pan African Connection. It'll be an author signing. So I'll do a book reading. I'll read some chapters and poems from the book, and then do a signing. So yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, make sure you go out and check him at Pan African Connections. Judah will be out there. I'm pretty sure if you follow him on the social media page, and is that Judah Abukina?
At Judah Abukina, yes. And on Instagram, it's at Gorilla Guide, GUERILLA
and go to Amazon and buy this book tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be at your doorstep tomorrow.
Yeah. It came really quick.
Best
So
$18 you ever spent in your life, I promise.
yeah, and so we want to make sure we are supporting each other in this journey, to make sure that we have stories of change, stories of transition that we know that can help the next person. We want to make sure that we go out and support them, because guess what? Hey, I'm saying this jokingly and seriously. Hey man, when you have somebody that take the time to change their life and then become an author and things like that, every time you go out and buy a book of that person, or you buy an album of that person, or you support their business, you're helping them be successful in one area when they know I could be a successful somewhere.
Thanks.
So help me do that, right?
Thanks.
And because there's quality.
Yeah.
There's quality, and as you look, the book is not that thick. So this was quality over quantity, because he was able to package everything in this book, the stories, the journey that he's been
And
through.
the beautiful poems. Each chapter has a poem in it. They're so good. I mean, this book is so good. I can't talk about it enough. This book is so good. I promise you.
You guys see it on the screen. We also have our copy here, so
Yes.
make sure to check out Judah Abukina. Judah Rising, a story of becoming. And I love the title of that, a story of becoming, man. Becoming ... whatever you're gonna become, that's what it is. So what's your story of becoming? So read this book so you can go and help your journey. So with that being said, this is The Last Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at The Last Podcast 1. Yeah, I know. On Instagram, it's _ The Last Podcast. So, I think this is a show we ain't got to worry about being canceled. So this will not be The Last Podcast.
Thank you again, Judah.
Thank you.